Well, Arsenal is leading the Leroy Sane race with other two teams in the Premier League that I'm going to obviously let you know about, and it looks like they are listening in here for me because I've gone ahead to let everyone know that one of the big problems that Arsenal really having is that they lack a player that is going to compete with Bukayo Saka. When Bukayo Saka is not putting in some good performances, there is no way Arsenal can really get him off the field of play because he's the only right forward with a left foot that brings up the balance they really get onto the right attacking side of the midfield. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. This is the Football News Show. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And the manager of England has gone ahead to obviously put out something special about players of England playing outside the Premier League and what that means to the English national team. Mudryk in the mix, having gone ahead to score a very beautiful goal against which team was Chelsea playing? I think it was Crystal Palace, So he went ahead to see to it that he scores a goal and he's now doubtful for their fixture they are going to play soon. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum, and this is Rokani David bringing you the latest news and information as far as your respective clubs are really concerned. Let's start it off from Leroy Sane, and it's Ekrem Corner. This guy obviously breaks the news before others break it, but because we know that David Austin, Fabrizio Romano are the transfer gurus, but this is another global transfer expert who always brings in a lot. He tells us that Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester United are the current front runners to sign 27-year-old German winger Leroy Sane from Bayern Munich next month. I cannot rule this out, you get, especially for two teams, Arsenal and Liverpool. For Manchester United, I don't see them going in for Leroy Sane because they still have Mason Greenwood, who is performing very well at the team known as Getafe. Then there comes Amadi Diallo returning back in training. They're having Anthony. They are literally having three players in that position. So there is no way you tell me you're going to bring in Leroy Sane who will cost you close to 70 or 60 million pounds. Yet you are having a player that can obviously do exactly what this one can do. Because I believe Mason Greenwood is a generational talent. Let's leave Man United there. I'll talk more about it on the United Matters channel. Let's go to Arsenal. For Arsenal, they need this guy. They need Leroy Sane. Arsenal badly needs Leroy Sane. Why? He's this kind of player that you always need at your team because he'll give you a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot that gives you new vibes onto the team. Like you see how it is with Gabriel Jesus and Edin Nketiah, that the manager takes off Gabriel Jesus and brings on Nketiah. Sometimes he benches Gabriel Jesus and starts Nketiah. That's how it's supposed to be on Leroy Sane and Bukayo Saka. As you see it on Leandro Trossard, Reece Nelson and Martinelli, that's how it's supposed to be onto Bukayo Saka, because Saka is really known that player that he is expected to be, and you need another player off the bench to come in through and obviously do the needful that Bukayo Saka is not going to hate to do. Like yesterday, you needed another player like Leroy Sane to come off the bench and really bring in a different skill set altogether. Leroy Sane, I tell you this, he's a better skilled player than Bukayo Saka, and his experience, 27 years of age, played the Champions League, I think he lifted the Premier League with Man City. He has gone ahead to lift the Bundesliga. He's a winner, and he knows exactly what to do in such circumstances. And for Mikel Arteta and Leroy Sane, you know that they first worked together at Manchester City, and that linkage is still there to see to it that these two are really loving one another. And for Leroy Sane, he's really taking his time to obviously sign a contract at Bayern Munich, and this season is going to hit to play 15 Bundesliga games. Is going to hit to score 8 goals and 8 assists. Champions League, 1 goal and 1 assist. That is the man himself. That is Leroy Sane. And when you look at everything that's going to hit to put up, it's really in perfect fit. And this season in the Bundesliga, he has been ranked first in as far as the following are really concerned: most assists 8, most key passes 49, most big chances created 12, most dribbles 63, and the highest rating is 8.2 in the Bundesliga for so far this season. That is Leroy Sane. And anyone who really doubts him, then you don't exactly know what I'm talking about. This guy is a very good player, and I think Arsenal should really work hard to obviously bring him on, because they need another player, to come off the bench or start the games more than this guy Bukayo Saka, to obviously set up the competition. And secondly, Leroy Sane can easily play as a left forward where Martinelli plays, meaning that they can even play on the same pitch with the guy himself, that is Bukayo Saka. Thirdly, his contract is running in 2025, meaning that the moment he hits the summer, he'll be left with just 1 year, and that will see Bayern Munich trying to see whether they want to sell him or not. And if at all they want to get some good money out of him, I think selling him in January would be the best option, as his value is at 80 million euros. That is like 70 million pounds for Leroy Sane. So Leroy Sane for me is a hot asset, and if at all Arsenal can get him in, that will act well for the club of Arsenal. But they face some competition from the team of Liverpool. Liverpool is one of those teams that really know that Mohamed Salah is really having one leg in Liverpool and the other in Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia are willing to offer him some huge amount of money. He's a staunch Muslim and he believes in Allah. And remember, Allah and Saudi Arabia plus Mecca, it's really, really, really one of those moments that Salah wants not to disobey. Having gone ahead to really extend his contract for 3 more years at Liverpool, Liverpool have gone ahead to really reject a bid coming in from Saudi Arabia, 200 million pounds to sign Mohamed Salah. That was towards the end of the summer transfer window, of this year, and Liverpool said no. But Mohamed Salah and his agent were willing to go outside there to really get in that huge chunk of money from Saudi Arabia and obviously make Allah great. So right now, Liverpool are really looking in for replacements, and they went ahead to do this in January of this year. Was it this year or last year? The January of last year, when they brought in Luis Diaz. Remember that they brought in Luis Diaz in the January of that year, where they played in the Champions League final and so much and so much and so on and so forth. But for this reason, they might be the hugest threat to Arsenal in as far as getting this guy Leroy Sane is concerned, because they might look at him as one of those players that really is not Premier League naive. He's really a Premier League proven player, and he can come in through and obviously build up a lot. His telepathy of the game is really huge, and you cannot really fail to see a very huge amnosity at Anfield for him. 27 years of age, you get him at 80, you get him at like 70 million pounds. You sell Mohamed Salah for 200 million pounds, meaning that you're going to be having 130 million pounds left that can help you really do the job. And one will ask, where can they get the money to obviously bring this guy in? They already have the money. They went ahead to make a bid of 115 million pounds to Brighton to sign Moise Caicedo, and Caicedo rejected, though Brighton had gone ahead to accept that money and crossed to Chelsea, meaning that having gone ahead to spend 20 million pounds onto what's the name of the guy? Endo. They've gone ahead to have close to 90 million pounds there to spend. So it remains to see whether they're going to spend it on Leroy Sane or Paulinho to come into their midfield. And it's really one of those moments that we are waiting to see what decision is going to be taken by the side of Liverpool. But Arsenal, I think they face a very huge block coming in from Liverpool. And for Bayern Munich, I think when a player says he's not going to read the contract, then why do you stand in his way? But it's said they're negotiating, but it looks like he's really having a huge appetite to return to the Premier League, but not to Manchester City, because they never really treated him well during the days of Manchester City. And he has gone ahead to say the following: Leroy Sane, he said, I realized very quickly with Harry Kane that it could be a really good fit. I even had the feeling before our first game. I followed his career closely in the previous years and also played against him in the Premier League. He's been one of the best number 9s in the world for many years with an incredible understanding of the game. He knows exactly what makes me tick and vice versa. I also really like him as a person off the pitch. That is Leroy Sane coming in and obviously giving his flowers to Harry Kane. So that's all about Leroy Sane. We wait and see how it's gonna go in the January transfer window and who is gonna win this battle, if at all. These teams go ahead to obviously make a decision that they are going to sign the player or in the names of Leroy Sane, a player that we all think is really very, very good and would help both teams, because for Liverpool, they are looking in for Mohamed Salah replacement, and that replacement should be this guy. Salah is going to hit, I think, 32 years of age, right? So let's go to Gareth Southgate saying English players moving to big clubs is good for the national team. He said Harry Kane and Bellingham are both playing exceptionally well as their clubs. They are obviously both at huge clubs, so they have to perform under pressure every week. That's the sort of environment we want our players to be in. So however much it says it's good, but he has been really practicing favoritism on certain players. You know, when you look at Tomori and how he's performing at the at Inter Milan, being in the Champions League semi-final, and how he was performing up, and he was left out of the World Cup of 2022. You get? And went in for Harry Maguire, who was literally playing 0 minutes at the club of Manchester United. So, and we are not going to blame him for not starting him, but why didn't he make the squad? The reason as to why Florin Balogun of Arsenal, formerly of Arsenal, now at Monaco, went ahead to obviously cross from England to American citizenship to play for the American national team. It's because where he was not appreciated. Instead of calling him for the first national team or first national team duties, he was called to play for the under-21s, and he said, I'm not going to play for the under-21s, and he fled to America, discussed with America, and he now plays for the American national team. Yet the guy had gone ahead to score very many goals, and I see no reason as to why this guy wouldn't obviously offer him a chance. But he came out and really said that no way, he needs to prove himself better. He needs to move to the Premier League. And why is it that for other players, he's not talking about them playing in the Premier League, yet they're playing the same leagues? I believe that if a player is playing the Spanish La Liga, not for Real Madrid or Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, like for Girona, and is scoring in goals, he's as good enough as that player who is playing for the big team. So he's really contradicting himself a little bit, but we wait and see where that contradiction will end. But it really doesn't sound nice for me. Then we close up this video with a story coming in through from Mauricio Pochettino confirmed that Mykhailo Mudryk needs to be assessed ahead of tomorrow's game after he limped off during the second half of Chelsea's victory versus Crystal Palace. And it will be some bad news for the side of Arsenal fans all over the world, because you cannot really feel well when this player is really out. You need to see to it that you keep him with you. And he went ahead to score a very beautiful goal for Chelsea as they took the lead in the first half against Crystal Palace. And I think he's really becoming good, and he's under a very good management. So wait and see how Chelsea really operates without this guy, because tomorrow they are playing away at Luton Town, a very hard game, but I think they would need a Mykhailo Mudryk in it to see to it that they obviously thrive. So guys, your thoughts on to Arsenal leading Leroy Sane race ahead of Liverpool are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Harry Kane, being hailed by Leroy Sane, and what the manager of England is going to have to say about Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham playing outside England? And I was so much pissed for him not mentioning other players like Tomori, who are really good and playing outside England. Then the other last point is all about Mykhailo Mudryk. Do you think they are going to miss him as they play Luton Town? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. I'm out. See you, my mates. The Muslims, Barak Laufikum.